In a world where game jams happen, GDevelop is hosting one. So GDevelop's 5th big game jam is going to run from May 17th to the 26th. As always, the rules and conditions for the jam are on the jam page, as well as the prizes. And this time around we have several awesome sponsors, including Crazy Games, Fanatical, Sprite, Code Menu, and Spine. So the list of prizes for this jam is stacked. And just like all of our big jams, we're going to be creating a video afterwards showing off some of the best games from the jam. And this time around we're going to have the top 10 community voted games, honorable mentions, judges' picks, and a separate category to show off some cool games that might not have ended up in those categories, but tried making games that were 3D, had leaderboards, or had mobile support. Just to show off some games that might be trying something new. So clear your schedule from May 17th to May 26th, because GDevelop's big game jam is going to be bigger than ever. The 5th big GDevelop game jam is about to begin. Game developers from all around the world will be coming together to compete for 9 days, creating games using the theme Unstable.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And as you can see, the 5th game jam by GDevelop is underway, and I am a day late and $1 short, so I need to get started on this jam so I can hopefully submit a decent game and make it enjoyable for anyone who wants to play it. So I'm just going to jump straight into it because you already saw what the jam is all about, with the theme of unstable, and that's to be interpreted relatively loosely, as is the case with most jams. And so what that means for me is, while I may be unstable mentally, I will focus probably more on a in-world physics unstable or instability. And I will, because I'm familiar with the development process, I'm going to just go with a side-scroller 2D runner-style game. And I am going to use pre-made assets from a bona fide 2D artist, not myself, for the sake of time. And since I'm a one-man shop over here today, and I don't have the time for teaming up, as an alternative to teaming up, I've selected pre-made assets from the itch.io website, from the community there. So I'm going to, I think that probably some templates and some pre-established code for UI, user interface, menus, that sort of thing, those are allowable, but I'm going to start completely from scratch, blank template, and anyone following along will get to watch that process as I navigate through and stumble my way through that process. But the jam runs from the 17th to the 26th. But I will not be available for each of those days, and I've already missed day one just because of prior commitments. So I'm only really going to have a few days out of that whole time frame. So I've really got to crunch down and see how far I can get here. So without any ado, I am going to close that out. Let me start my background music again. And hopefully that's balanced. So here is my GDevelop. I'm going to go to build, create a project, and they're really pushing for 3D leaderboards and mobile compatibility. I'm going to do 2D, but I can do mobile compatibility and leaderboards. So let me select 1280 by 720. So that would be landscape, of course. I have no idea what I really want this to be named. I can maybe rename it later. For now, I'll call it I'll just call it crazy, or maybe I'll call it unstable jam runner. Normally you would not want your software to be unstable, but in this case we're going for that. Optimized for pixel art. I think a lot of the art I'm going to use is actually vector art. I do want to allow players to authenticate and create the project. There we go, blank as can be. So let's start by adding in some of the assets. Some tiled sprites, and let me choose from my desktop. And this first background is going to be sort of a prehistoric scene. There's already an example scene here just as a PNG file. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Let me show you what that looks like real quick, and then I'll plug it all in. If you're participating in this game jam or another game jam right now, let me know in the comments what you're working on, and if you need any help or have any suggestions or anything like that. It's always I find the game jam community is a relatively healthy community. People love to jump in and assist each other with stuff. All right, I'll show you this example scene. This is just a sample of all of the assets in my sprite pack that I purchased. And again, this is a side scroller, so we're going to have the background in different background layers, and I may not use everything here, and I may use a variety of these packs moving forward, but for now, this is day one. Let's get this in. So let me not use this sample image. Let me get some actual assets. So for the, I guess let's start with let's do mountains in the background. Or we could do the sky color strip. Let's see if this works. And actually, I don't like that default size. Let me get that more accurate. Background. That is 41 by 1080. Apply. There we go. Now when I drag it out here, it's actually the correct size, which is actually bigger than my scene, so I can probably scrunch it. I'll just make it slightly larger. Okay. So that is, let me rename that to Sky BG. Okay, let's get Far Ground Mountains, as they are named. And these are tiled sprites, which means I can, as you saw with the sky, I can drag it and it will repeat the image rather than scale or reshape the image. And this is 1920 by 223. Okay, and that is Far Ground _ Mountains. I'll just use the original names for some of these. Now I can drag that out here. I'll probably do something like this. And as you can see, if I drag it, it'll start to repeat the image rather than scale it. It's really great work. That's why I sometimes prefer to use other members' art using their license rather than really try hard to make it myself. Can do it, not not my forte. All right, let's do far ground hills. This will probably be on the same layer, but let's see. That is 1920 by 107. Oh, not that. And rename that one far ground underscore hills. Oops, if I can spell. Not exactly sure how we want to do that one. If I go back to the sample image, pull that up here, then we can see those hills kind of at the base. I guess they're like the foothills of the mountains. Let me just which is pretty much what we're doing here. So yeah, I'll just put those as like the foothills here. Okay, then let's see what else we can get in here. Today's goal: build the scene, build scene 1, like level 1, get all the basic code in here, you know, code in this non-code engine and the events. All right, let's do let's see. We have different options like foreground rocks and stuff. Some of these I want to be the actual platform that the chicken, I'm going to use the chicken, that he runs on. And some of them are background, some of them are the actual platform with which we'll interact. So not fully decided on which one I want to use for which. We have a foreground rocks, including their edges, and then a mid-ground. Let me plug in the mid-ground and see what that looks like. Which is 1920 by 385. And let me rename that mid-ground. I keep forgetting to rename that before I throw it out there. So the mid-ground, let's just plug that in right below those foothills. And if I just pull up the scene, this is what it's looking like so far. We can, of course, continue to play with that, but that's what we have. And then I think trying to figure out how we want to do the grass. We have patches of grass. That. And then we've got the tileable grass, which is this plus an edge. And some of these bits and pieces as well. So here's what I'm looking at right now. I've got everything I showed you so far is from the background folder. And these are things I can play around with creatively in the background. Doesn't really impact the gameplay itself. It's just a lot of fun. And then but for that foreground, what I'm really going to be looking at is which pieces do I want to use for the platform. And for level 1, I'm thinking something grassy, but then for level 2 and beyond, I'm thinking something more stone-like, a little more hardcore. So that would come from this environmental assets page or folder. So we have the foreground rock. And then could even use some of these spiky skeletons as like a trap. And then various plants. So I'm not sure I would use those as a platform, although I could. Okay, so then what I'll do is, let's get the foreground rock in here. And that is 1920 by 276. And apply. They named that with an underscore there. Rocks. Rocks. And then theoretically, this is something I would turn into a platform with the platform behavior. A little hard to differentiate that from the mid-ground rocks right behind it. So, I mean, granted, it is in the background pieces, so that's probably why. So if I just play this, it's supposed to just be another layer, which is fine. So we can just leave it like that. And then so let's say we had, let me see if I can use just a regular old sprite for these. Because we have a series of rocks. Let me add a sprite, go to, get out of the background folder, go to the environmental folder. So we've got rock 1, 2, 3 through 6. And then a variety of other ones as well. So, I mean, we could use these and just change the animation number as we move along. So, and then from here we would add a platform behavior. Platform, and this would be, we'll do not jump through, we'll just do platform. Ledges can be grabbed, sure. And then go back to properties, probably add, let's go and add all the sprites in here as different animations, even though they're just idle animations. That way we get some variety as we run along. Do you have a preferred sprite editor or art creator? Do you use like Illustrator or Photoshop or anything? I tend to use GIMP If I'm doing pixel art, I just use pixelart.com, and GDevelop itself does have a pixel editor, which is pretty suitable for like on-the-fly edits. Okay, so that is 0 through 5. And we have many more, but let's start with those. Apply. So what we would do then is take the new sprite, let's rename that to, I guess, we'll just say platform stone. And these are what we'll actually jump around on. One thing that concerns me again is that color. So if I go to edit with Piskel, the embedded pixel art editor, what we could do is just change like the hue a little bit. And I guess I could actually do that in the game as well. So maybe I should just do that. I need to do the fastest thing possible. So if I were to add this into the game, and then in the events, if I do nothing except at the beginning of the scene, change the platform stone tint, and then make that like a dark gray. Let's see what this does. And preview that. There we go. So it's automatically way darker. I want it's going to be a fast-paced game, so I want it to be very visually obvious that this is the thing you want to drive to land on. Even though right here it's super well, it's the same color. And then if I were to change the animation of one of these, it would reflect differently. But changing that tint should apply to every instance of this. Like that. So what do we want to do then? Let's separate out these layers so that we have a world. We want these to be on the base layer. And then based on these other assets, we'll have different background layers. So for my own sanity, let me go ahead and create these layers down here. We've got, I'll just say BG, then I'll say BG far, BG mid, and then BG near. And I will set each of these things in the sky. So the sky would be BG far. Oh, I need to drag and drop these into the correct order. So we've got the base layer, followed by near, followed by mid, followed by far. There we go. And the foreground mountains I want on the BG far, and the same thing for the hills. Hopefully these actually still show up in front. So hills. And then what do we have here? The mid ground, send that to mid. And then we have foreground rocks. We'll put that on BG near. Okay. So that is the basic scene setup. Now the next thing would be, we probably want to go and get the player character in there. And I like chickens, so I'm going to go with the chicken sprite. Similar to another tutorial I had done before, but using a different animation. So let me get that into the game, and here it is. Add new object, sprite. All right, we want, what do we have here? Die, duck, idle. Let's start with idle. Zero through 19. Idle. Let's add an animation. We want yellow chicken. Does it have run? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm seeing it starting at 0.2 here. Oh, there we go. It would help if I made my window bigger. It's a little bit out of order, but let's see, 2, 3, 4 through 15, and then I need to grab the first two. There we go. Open. I might need to drag those over to the left. Oh no, it took care of it for me. So let's preview these. Here's the idle. Oh, I want to put it on loop though. Loop. Preview. And then preview. Okay, so those are pretty much slow-mo for what we're gonna do. Let me double check something over here. Here's the animation info. Okay. Oh gosh, I just messed it up. The faster we make this idle animation, the more it's like me when I'm out of shape. Alright, so let's start with those. Well, I guess we can go and get the jump animation. We'll definitely want that. Not sure if we're having any kind of a shoot animation. Let's see here. I see 0, 0, all the way up to 11. They're out of order, but let me see if GDevelop sorts them for me. If I hover over the frame, it does show me the file name 00012. So let's go ahead and preview that. And this is the jump, so it would not loop. Okay. We've got die, we've got punch, walk, wonder how different the walk is. We could put that in there for like when you start out. And then as you increase in speed, you'll show the run animation instead. Just walk, not walk shooting. Not shooting. Alright, 0 through 5, and then 6 through 15, open. Alright, let's name the animations. This is run, jump, walk. Alright. Apply. And then let's move walk between idle and run, because that kind of makes sense. Idle, walk, run, jump, apply. Let me check the collision masks. Okay, those seem appropriate. And then the points. So we've got the center point is a little funny. And we're also going to be facing a different direction, so let's see if I can flip these around here in Piscal. I'm going to flip these so that he's facing the correct direction. He or she, I suppose. Now, once upon a time I did this all in one fell swoop. Let me see if... Oh, shift. Alright, here we go. Apply to all frames. Boom. GDevelop's got our back. Knows what we want. Alright, I wish I didn't still have everything selected. Alright, soon we're going to have our basic assets in the game and we can jump straight into the events and get something... You know, get our minimum viable product up and running, which is exactly why I chose this type of game genre, because it lends itself well to a quick MVP. Alright, so let's edit this other one. Shift, flip, apply. And the next one, shift click, save. And finally the jump animation, same thing. Apply. So how are we looking? That's the size. So if I throw that in there, it's going to do nothing except animate. A little bit big for our preference. But it looks confident. So let's scale that down. Our chicken's on a diet. Super slim chicken. Have you eaten that slim chickens? It's pretty good. Let's delete that out of there. So let's try when the scene starts. But hold on. One thing I want to do is create a group, and I'll call it player player character. It's not really a character game, but and then I'm going to add the chicken to it, which I actually need to rename. Instead of new sprite, we'll call it chicken. Chicken. That way I can maybe add like other player character types, like other animals or humanoids or whatever. So I'll reference that group moving forward. And then at the beginning of the scene, I will scale the chicken. I will set it to, I don't know, let's try 0.5. That's better. Maybe slightly smaller, let's try 0.4. Let's try that for now. So if I drag, it's actually harder to figure out. If I apply, all right, let's add some behaviors here. So add behavior, physics. And this would have, let me double check here real quick. I know that we want gravity, so this should drop it down. Oops. Wait, did I? Platform. Yeah, let me double check something. Okay, so what we want is actually, we don't need physics, although that does help to put the chicken on the rock, but let's delete that for now. We do want platform object. Or character. right, there we go. So it has the built-in controls. In this case, it's the arrows and the spacebar, which I will change, but at least we're getting a collision with the platform underneath, and if I jump off the edge, it fell. Just to test that part out, let's try this. Run off the edge, fall. Okay. And then we want the camera to focus on the chicken. So we're going to add another behavior. Let's go to add behavior. We want camera, smooth camera, follow on x-axis. I think we want to avoid following on the y-axis because that'll probably make it really a little bit jarring. Could do that. Let's just see how this goes. We want I think these to be pretty high. Oops. And over here on my other monitor, I'm just looking at some recommended numbers, so I can avoid a little bit of trial and error. The camera offset X is how off-centered in the scene it's going to appear. Let's try 150. Apply. Preview. Okay, so the camera's now following. Okay, that's a start. We can go ahead and change the animations on... Actually, let me go and structure out my events here. We need several events. And I think that the way I want to group this, it will be... We obviously have at the beginning of the scene, then we're going to have game states. So let me add that. And underneath that, we're going to have a preparing. Okay, so now let me do that. And then a playing. Give this a color. Good color. Preparing would be like what? Like a yellow light. And then playing would be like a green light. Okay, and next we want to finish adding these game states. Let's change this color of the starting thing here, the comments, and then under playing the game we're going to have player movements. And that's where we can do the animations. So give that a green. Yeah, it's not letting me indent these, is it? We'll get to that later. So let's do if the player is jumping, then we'll do the animation for the jump. Sorry about that. And then, so let's test that out real quick. Okay, so it worked once and then not again. So I think I need a trigger once here. Yeah, it's still triggering once, but I need to set it back to idle after that if it's not jumping. So let me do... Oops. Got chicken on the mind. Is jumping. And then let me do a couple of these. Is jumping. And then I would do is falling. Actually, is moving. So is jumping, is moving. And I guess is falling. Let's start with those, and then I'll invert those. Then we'll change the animation to idle. See if this works. Okay, now every time we jump, it replays the jump animation. So it sometimes plays the jump animation depending on which buttons are being pressed. So if I just stand still and jump, it plays the jump animation. If I hold forward or hold right and jump, it plays. If I push backwards and jump, it will play. But if I don't release the forward or backward button, the left or right button, then it won't play. If the chicken is moving and is not jumping, let's set the animation to run. for now, and then later I'll play with the whole walk thing. And of course, well, there won't be any backward movement in the game, so I don't need to worry about flipping him backwards, but I could do that. So here's the run. That'll be when he's moving faster, and then if he's running and jumping, there's a jump. Jump, jump. So that looks just fine. There really shouldn't be any idle either, unless you hit like a ledge and it kills your speed. But mostly it's going to be that run and jump animation. That's going to be the vast majority of the animation. So maybe I'll put that up front here. Run, jump, and idle. Good enough. And then let me do another comment here. Let me set the controls. We already have space as the standard jump button, but I would like to use WASD as well, WASD. So let me see if I can change that either in the behavior or if it needs to be in the event. Oops. It has default controls. So what I'll need to do is make sure that this is also mobile compatible. So it would probably be a tap. Screwed up here. It would probably be a tap on the screen for the jump there. And really we don't want a run button, do we? Because I mean, like, we could. But part of the challenge of a runner is you're kind of uncontrollably moving forward, whether you're ready or not. So we may just eliminate that option altogether, and which means the walk or the run animation will be continuously playing. And then on mobile, you wouldn't have to bother with some sort of a run control in addition to the jump. You just have the jump. So that would make it more mobile friendly for sure. So I won't even bother with the whole WASD conversion. What I will do is let me add a another event, and we'll do touch. All right, just getting some coffee real quick and then I'll be back. All right, and we are back. Coffee is full. Good to go. Turn my camera back on. There we are. Okay, so what we wanted to do was add touch to simulate the jump for mobile. So let's put that code, let's put those events in. Trying to remember the best option for this. Touch has ended, touch has started. Check if a touch has just started or the mouse left button has been pressed on this frame. The touch identifiers can be accessed using started touch or mouse ID and started touch or mouse count. Check if a touch has just started or the mouse left button has been pressed on this frame. So that might be the most responsive option as opposed to a touch has ended. I'll make sure this has a trigger once while true so that when the jump happens you don't just fly, although a chicken can fly. Believe me, I would know. Fly into the neighbor's yard. Oh wait. Chicken, jump. Simulate a press of the jump key. Let me test this. Okay, so clicking works, spacebar works. Although weirdly the spacebar it's a slightly different timing, because if I click, this is a click. It goes slightly shorter. It's jumping to about there. But the spacebar goes way higher. Which means mobile is using the click version, so it would be at a disadvantage. That's not good. It's odd. Maybe we don't want touch as started. Touch or left mouse button is down. Let me double check my options here. Mouse. And if it's the mouse, it would be the left mouse. So touch or left mouse button is down. Let's see if that shows us the same kind of a jump. It does not. Okay, I will just ignore. Let me make a note so I can come back to this. It's a bug. It's a minor bug. Unintended behavior. It's not game breaking, and this is a game jam, so I need to move forward. And I do not have a pen here. Unprofessional. Alright, I got a pen. From Skyhelm. I think it was a freebie at some convention. I'm gonna write this down on some old-fashioned sticky notes here. So the space bar jumps higher than touch. Okay. That is a to-do item number 1. For late error. Probably be more boring to stream that, but if I figure it out and if anyone's watching this and they want to know how I fix it, let me know and I'll show you, but I'll probably do that offline. All right, so where are we? We've got the chicken in the game. We've got the basic platform in the game. We have the backgrounds in the game. We've got the camera tracking the chicken, which is running very slowly. We need the backgrounds, the different background layers to move at different rates, right? So at the beginning of the scene, what we need to do is change the X offsets of those backgrounds. And so one thing I wanted to try was if we can do groups again for the various backgrounds. So let me try this. I haven't done this exactly before. So this would be BG. I'm going to make these plural because it's groups. So BG fars. And in this group, we would have a couple of objects. We would have foreground mountains and foreground hills apply. Then we would have BG mids. And in the mids group, we would have, looks like just the mid ground. And then BG nears. So for BG nears, we've got foreground. I think it's just foreground rocks apply. Now I think BG far. I think I also needed to add the sky. Maybe I'll just do the sky. Trying to think. I could have sky, I could have clouds. And I'm trying to think in terms of other levels as well, where we'll have maybe different types of particles falling through the atmosphere, different types of clouds in the sky. So maybe I'll just do BG sky for now and add the sky object in there. Because we don't have clouds or anything, but not sure where I want to put those. Let's do... Well, let's go into the events. So this would be... Let's say... The far... Actually, let's do the groups. So it'd be BG fars change the X offset so camera center X. And if I want it to move more slowly than the chicken, in this case this is the far background, so it should move the slowest. It's subjective, but let's try it divided by 8. And so that's going to be at the beginning of the scene, and then I think I also need under playing. I'm pretty sure it needs to be... The chicken's gonna run automatically. So what I want to do is, essentially the background is going to always be moving. I think I want to create a couple of scene variables. And we'll just call it game state. It can be a string or string. And it would start as preparing. Apply. But just to be safe, I would also change that here. So this would be scene variable, text variable, game state, and I would set that to preparing, just to be safe. Then I would do the same thing for later on. I'm going to add an event here where it changes that to playing. Playing. This would be if any key is pressed. Here we go. All right, so if any key is pressed, change the text of the game state variable to playing. And then below that, as a new event, if the scene variable of game state is equal to playing, then this is where we also change the offset. So no key has been pressed, key has been pressed. And you can see there's a little offset there between those far back grayer rocks versus these mid-ground brown rocks. So we can add lots of different layers in there. I may even separate them out completely just so we get a lot of that effect. But for now, let's just get all of them in there. So let's get all these background fars, background mids, background mids. It's mid, bro. And then background near and background sky. Those are our 4 groups at the moment. I'll probably just do a lot more, but the mids would be not quite, they would be faster than the far background. So instead of 8, let's say 6, and then the near, instead of 6, let's say 4. And the sky would be pretty slow as well. I might put that at like 9. Let's test this out. So really it's hard to see the rest of those changes. Let me double check my groups here. Foreground rocks. It just seems like it would be more... Seems like it's tracking with the chicken. This this foreground, it's in the background, but it's called the foreground rock. So it's the nearest it is the nearest background object to us, and it looks like it's just staying along with the chicken, which is not ideal. That's not what we're going for. So it should be in this group here. Foreground rocks, apply. And if I click on this object in the game, we also have, that's the mid-ground, so the mid-ground should be in here. So that's right behind the foreground rock. Oh, I know what the problem is. I didn't call it in the correct places. Come on, people, you gotta correct me on this. I need to copy and paste all these events down to the recurring scene events. There we go. There we go. That is a happy chicken. We're gonna change that later. All right. I would like to polish as I move along since it's a game jam. My personal experience is that I run out of, if I take the approach of get the minimum viable product with 0 polish, I always end up with a decent amount of mechanics in the game, but with no polish. And when it comes to a game jam, you still want people to be compelled to click on your game and test it out, right? Like with anything, if you have a YouTube thumbnail or an Instagram photo. You still want people to interact with it, so it needs to be attractive enough for them to do that. So I'm trying not to skimp on the polish as I move forward, and really balance some of the polish with the core mechanics so that no matter what happens when I get to the finish line, as long as I actually submit the game, it's a rounded project and not something that's like only good in theory or something that's only polished with no gameplay. That would be bad too. So I'm trying to set myself up for success, and if I'm using these groups here so that if I do multiple levels with multiple level themes, like instead of being in this world, he's on the moon or something, that I can just plug and play those assets into these groups and the code will still run exactly the same. So I think I actually want to separate out the Farground Hills. I'm going to rename that to... Well, no, I won't rename it, but I do want to create a new group for that. I'll call it BG Far Mid, if that's even a thing. Let me remove it from this group. Farground Hills, apply, put it into this one. And then let me add that X offset, copy and paste this one. We'll do far mid spa. We'll set that to say 7. And then copy and paste that down below. And then we could do some clouds in these as well. I think it needs to be a tiled sprite, so choose from device. Let's get out of the chicken bucket, the bucket of chicken. Let's go back to wherever the clouds are. Assets. All right, we got a handful of clouds here. Cloud 1, 2, and 3. It's not going to be an animation, so I would need to do a few different ones. Yeah, let me double check the original size on that. Uh, 711 by 91. Wrong thing. 711 by 91. Okay. And then let me call that one by the original file name, Cloud1, because it's already named relatively intuitively. Let me add the other ones. So another tiled sprite from device, Cloud2. Just go and copy the name in here. Change the name before I leave. Now that file size, 631 by 56. If I can type, apply, and then one more. Cloud 3, open. That is 437 by 95. Okay, now let's do it feels like overkill, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So it's gonna be background. I'll do cloud, cloud near, oops, and then probably like cloud mid, and then maybe even a cloud far. I won't necessarily use all of these for every scene, but just see if we can get some virtual depth going on here. So for the cloud near, I don't know exactly. Let me see what these look like. Let me put them out here into the scene and see what we're working with. Okay, so I can scale them down, move them back, put them behind some of the other stuff. I'm thinking the flat ones can go somewhere down here, like a low-hanging, almost like a fog layer. And then this one, maybe up in the air and slightly down here. So let's try that. So that is Cloud 3 is the fluffy one. Let's do that far away. And then I don't have a real preference on these other two. Let me do Cloud Mid as the Cloud 1 and Cloud 2 as the near. 1 and 2, okay. And then so I guess I'll just rinse and repeat here. I'll need 3 more of these things. So this will be Cloud Far. I want that to be if it's behind the mountains, then it would be slightly slower than those even. So it might be actually on par with the sky, which was divided by 9. And then mid. Let's put that at 7. And then finally, the cloud that's going to be nearest. Let's put that at, say, 5. Copy those down to my recurring events. And let's preview that. Oh, I did not put these in the right spot. I need to put these in there. Alright, so Cloud 3 would actually go to the background far layer. Cloud 2. Wait, which one was which? The mid layer should be Cloud 1, which is this one here. The nearest one is Cloud 2. So this one should be nearest and dearest. No, it should be nearest and it should be the faster one. The other one should be further back and slower. Which means I want the near one to be on layer background near, the other one to be in background mid. Okay, it's a little hard to tell because of the way it's scaling. So I'll need to figure out how I want to address that, but I think it has to do with the fact that it's not extended all the way across the scene. Alright, so the clouds up top, that's Z layer, or Z order 10. But the foreground mountains are 2. Let's put those at 11. So that we want those to cover the clouds a bit. Like that. Alright, there we go. So now we have these clouds down on the bottom. They're operating as intended. Not a huge fan of just always having them, but let's see. Maybe I can do something like this, where we just get a little snippet of this foreground one. Sometimes. And the backer one. It's like somewhat behind these other rocks as well. I think I want them even further back. So let me see. That is Z order 8. Not sure. Where do I want this? Whoa. Okay, I have completely lost it. This is the unstable element of the game, as the developer. Let's find that instance of Cloud. I think it was Cloud 1. And how did I make it so tiny? What in the world? What is happening? I don't even know, people. But we're gonna get through this. Alright, let's set this Cloud 1 to the background mid. Actually, background far looks pretty good. What does this look like? I can probably raise it up just a little, and then we'll call it square. Not you, chicken. Okay, I just need to extend that out across the scene so it doesn't cut off. Because it's a tiled sprite. Now we have our parallax in full action. So now we can start to add stuff like into the sky and into the various layers. And I may make a different variation of this tiled sprite where it has extra space, so it's not a full continuation of the same cloud. But that can be, that level of polish I'll work in at the end. For now, I'm happy with this. So let's do some mechanics. Let me save this, actually. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And some coffee. By the way, if you want to see more of this type of content, go ahead and like and subscribe to let me know. I work on various projects, and making my own games is kind of my first priority, and then helping provide like tutorial material within GDevelop or anything like that, I'm happy to do, but I would prefer to do it if I know someone out there would like to watch it. I don't do it just for the sake of doing it. So let me know. I'd be happy to help out. I've responded to a few questions before in video form. I'd be happy to do it again. I'm an evening, nighttime developer most of the time. It's a weekend right now, so I work my full-time job, have a family, and so it's at the end of the day when I have to do all of my my game development and any stream work. So appreciate the patience and understanding there. When do you do your game development if you're a developer? Let me know in the comments. Okay, lots of things to do here. Let's build out the level flow. So what we need is the ground to like repeat. And so, and I could change the animation of one of these. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. 2 looks pretty nice. Let's see what we get here. Oh man, our chicken is not making that jump. We do not have the speed. We need some speed, people. Let's do... the chicken needs a variable. We've got to do speed first. This is killing me, literally. Variable number... we'll call the variable chicken speed. Number apply. And then I think I also want a text object to show us the speed. So let's do let's do a basic text for now. It'll just be called text chicken speed. Speed. All right. Sure, we can do an outline and a shadow. So if I drag that out into the scene, top leftish. Let's make sure that that works. It does not work. Oh, that's outside of my scene. Why is that outside of my scene? Never mind, I don't know what's happening, people. I'm a little bit tired today, just trying to make it work. Whatever, here's the speed, and so what I want to do is update that to display the chicken's current speed. So if I go to chicken behavior, we've got we have acceleration at 1500, max speed of 250. So max speed of 250 with acceleration at 1500. Let me think. What we want is the current speed, so let me double check how we can grab that from these numbers. I think it might be relatively simple. So playing, if the game state is playing, let me do some sub events here just for structure. Sub event. Let me move all of the parallax effects into its own sub, into their own sub. And then update the text. So this would be the text, chicken speed text is assigned. It would be the word speed plus chicken dot platformer object current speed. Let's see if that works. Let's see what kind of bugs we get here. Okay, I mean, as you can see, he very quickly goes from 0 to max speed at 250 or minus 250. But in the meantime, we're getting that huge, nasty number there. So let me change that by rounding it. And we can do that simply by doing the variable toString, and then we'll do rounded. I think it's rounded like this. And then all that junk with another parenthesis. Oh gosh. All right, let me open this up. Plus chicken. Oops. Dot. Platformer object current speed. I really thought, where am I putting this in the wrong spot? Let me double check. Usually it helps me out here, but I'm typing it out wrong. Rounded. I'm just trying to get the prompt for how to round it. Let me double check. Come on, people. I'm having a bit of a brain fart. It's just round? I thought it was rounded. Okay, yeah, it's just round. Okay. So this would be speed plus round chicken dot, actually, maybe round. No, not that. Why is this not giving me the prompt I need? String round, and then this would be, inside of all of this would be the platform chicken speed. So chicken dot platformer object current speed. There we go. Finally. That was nasty, but we got it. So now we can track our speed. That's a good developer tool. And for the end game, we may put that into like a visual, like a bar or something. But for now, that'll work. And we want to increase the max speed of the chicken. So especially the starting speed. Let me open up the chicken, go to behaviors, the max speed. Let's set that to 500 for now. Now we should be able to make that jump. There we go. No, cannot make the jump very well. Okay, this is where we got to fine-tune the numbers a bit. Max falling speed 700. I can increase the jump speed a bit. Gravity and max fall speed. Maybe increase the jump speed, decrease the fall speed. Let's see how this goes. Obviously the running speed is going to increase as the game progresses. I think he just needed a better jump. Something that feels good. Pro tip, or yeah, select your text and set that to the UI layer so it doesn't leave. I need to add a UI layer. Let me close my instances panel, add a layer, call it UI, and make sure it's on top of the base layer, and then set the text object to UI. Now that should stick with us. There we go. Okay, the jump seems decent enough. Now I think I would like to implement a double jump, but we'll see. All right. While we're here, I'm going to go ahead and create the, I think I want to create the main menu and some of the functionality buttons so that I'm not scrambling at the end to get those put in. So let me save this scene. Let me see if I can rename it. I think just close and then go to, oh, I didn't need to close it. Rename, we'll just call it level 1. Okay, let's add a new scene. We'll call it main menu. All right, and for the main menu, I think I want to just not totally sure here. I want to keep all the art assets in there, especially for the background. So I think I'm just going to duplicate level 1 and then delete a lot of the code out of there. Let me name it main menu. And then close level 1 out so I don't mess with it. And then it won't have any of this stuff down here. Oh, geez. It's just gonna have buttons, really. So we'll do buttons. All right. Let's see. There won't even be a chicken per se. If there is, I'll just manually place it. We need to add some buttons, though. Buttons, if I can say the word. So let's add new object. Panel sprite button, and I will add from. I will skip and create from. Actually, let me just grab one of these and then change the art. So the idle, let's replace that from my device. I've got a few to choose from here from my asset pack and from my other games as well. Actually, it's a different asset pack. Right here, buttons, and I don't know exactly what I want. Let's try a yellowy wooden one. And that would be, I need to make sure I get the original size correct. That is 765 by 202. I mean, I don't actually think we're going to need it that size, but so that's for the idle. And we don't have multiple versions of that. So we'll have to do something to make the idle hovered pressed look distinct. Okay, there we go. 765. Could even do something where it's like slightly larger. But I'll need to play with the numbers and figure this out. 765 by 202. All right. So now the text should just say, let's just say play. Apply. Let's see what that looks like on the screen. Let's see. This is the main menu, so we don't need the speed. We could set the chicken out here just for fun. But we don't need it. So the button is preview. Oh, the chicken still has the behavior. So the button works. I mean, if we click on it, we can see it interacting a little bit. Let me change the size though. We don't need it to be so huge. The width could be easily far less. Let's say 400 by 150. And then possibly for the hovered, we can make that larger. So instead of 400, let's say 450. So I need to scale this. Let me pull up a scale real quick. All right, so if it's at 168.75. And then it would go, when you press it, might go extra small. So instead of 400, maybe we do like 350. I don't know how extreme it's going to look. So 131.25. Just a thought. We'll see what that actually... Oh no, I just erased my hovered one. Let's go back. But it's not letting me do the decimal spots. So that's fine. 450 gave us 168. We'll say 169. For idle. Never mind. Let's do 400, 150. Hovered 3. This should be 450. I keep losing my place here. I'm kind of out of it. And then this should be 168 or 169. Okay, apply. And then let's just get rid of the chicken for now. Let's center this and get rid of the... We don't need any of these things. Okay. So it's not changing the size based on the hover. So I wasn't sure if that would work, but it doesn't seem to like that. So instead, let's just edit with Piskel real quick. We'll just make it a bit lighter. Let me select all. See if we can lighten. That works, but it's applying on a very small scale. Also, I forgot. I think if I edit this, I would need to save it as a new image name. So, let's see here. So what I'll want then is really to find a way to lighten this whole section. I'm just going to do it the way that I know how. So let me just open up GIMP. And throw the original file in here. And Yeah, I just want to create like a hovered version. So it would go from that to like that. Okay. I mean, I don't even think on the mobile you would even notice the difference. It would be mostly if you're playing on PC with a cursor. So let me export this one. Control Shift S. We'll call this one hover. Save. Now let's get the original back in here. Actually undo whatever I just did there. Let's delete this out and put the original back in here. Let's do the same thing, but this is actually the pressed version. Which is usually a little bit different in terms of the appearance. So maybe what I can do is something like make that bottom strip lighter. And then the upper section darker, kind of invert them. So let's see if we can do something along those lines. Go to my curves here. So this would be lighter. Okay, and then select the upper section. Oops. Select. And then let's darken this. I don't know, but we're going to go with it because this is a game jam. We need to move forward. So instead of hover, this will be pressed. Pressed for time. All right, that's that. Now let's get those in here. Replace the hovered with a file from the device. And let me find wherever I saved those. Where did I save them? Let me go back to GIMP. I hate that problem. Save as, and it went to, it looks like the same folder. Sorry, I just did a recent reorg of my file system, and clearly that has not paid dividends here because I've lost where I'm saving stuff. Oh, I found the issue. Here's the issue. I had it set to custom files. I had to view all files because these are saved as a different file type, but these are saved as PNGs. Or is that a PNG? Maybe I saved that as, oh, that's a project. So that's why they didn't show up. That would be it. So let's save that as an actual image, not a project. export as PNG, pressed, export. I swear. And then let me open recent, go to hovered, and export that as a PNG as well. There we go. Now let's see if I can get these into the game. So this should be for the hovered, the hoverboard. It's literally a hoverboard. And then the pressed. Which would hopefully looks a little bit inverted from the idle. Apply. And preview. Okay, hover, you get a little bit more of a light color. Press, you get a darker. It works. You know, you can interact with it. So let's duplicate that out. Let me think. For the text itself, yeah, I guess I'm good with that for the text. Where do we want this on the screen? How about front and center? Then let me rename that to play button. Maybe button play. Then I'm going to duplicate it. Oh, that didn't work. Duplicate. This will be exit. And then what else do we need? Oh, that'll be button exit. Probably need one for credits. And maybe one for settings. Okay. Let's get all of those in. So play, settings, and exit will all be here in the middle-ish. The exit button should say exit. The settings button, obviously settings, and credits we'll put over here. And these will open up other scenes. Okay, something like that. Still don't have an actual title up there, so let's get a title. Let's do rich text. And we'll do, what did I call this thing? Crazy Chicken Runner or something. So we'll do bold. the size at 48. Let's do reminds me of my HTML days in school, trying to hand jam all the HTML manually, but prone to error there. Bold, size 48, font, it's at Times New Roman. I'm not going to change the font. Spacing equals 12, outline yellow. Let's see if this works at all. Outlined and drop shadow. Oh, get rid of the font Times. I don't want that font. And then, so we've got outline, yellow, outline, spacing, shadow is assigned red. Bold, size, spacing, outline. Bold, size, spacing, outline, and shadow. Okay, that did not work exactly. Something probably with the shadow is messed up. Oh, no quotes. Like I said, very prone to error. Let's see, it might not even like that. Let's see, let's do shadow first. So shadow, outline. Spacing. Size. And then bold. Yeah, it's not happy with whatever I entered here. All right, trying this again. I just need to get some freaking text on the screen here. So let's do just outline yellow and shadow. For now, let's just try red. And then close out the shadow. And close out the outline. Delete all the rest. Let's just see what happens here. I'll close the instances panel. Yeah, it does not like these rich texts. It is not happy. Let me restart. Not happy at all. All right, here we go. Let's do some plain old text for now. I will come back to the rich text. Not worth it during the game jam. Text title. I don't know exactly. Let's try font size 60. Let's just give it a yellowy color. And what the heck, bold. It will say we'll call it unstable chicken. Outline, let's give it white with a black drop shadow. Apply. We can probably go bigger. It's a bit off center. Okay. I don't like some of the spacing here. And I can't tell if it's from the buttons or from the text, so I'm just double checking that before I move on. Also, it looks like the sky background is not quite covering the edge of the screen, so let me fix that. Okay, there we go, we got that. And I guess that'll work for now. We'll come back to it. As long as I've got this in here, it'll be worthy of a game submission. Let me just assign some events to these buttons. So add a few conditions. So button exit is clicked. Then I forgot what quit the game. Okay. Then button credits is clicked. We'll need to change the scene. So let me create another scene by duplicating the main menu. And we'll call it credits. menu. And then over here, we'll change the scene to credits. Play button is clicked. Change the scene to level 1. Boom. Let's see. Let's add a click sound. I think I've got a sound available. Play a sound from your device. Let me see where I put that. Tell you what, let's go find it from the assets store. Should be a click. Let me pause my background music here for a moment. This chiptune, Wakanda Forever music. All right, let me listen here. I don't like any of those. Sound. These all sound the same to me. I'm going to choose this, but let me try changing the pitch a bit. So if the exit button is clicked, play this sound. And then we would want that for each of these other events as well. So if I preview, preview again. So it worked when I clicked on the credits button. Did it work if I click on play? It did. All right, that will work for now. And maybe later I'll find a perfect click button, but at least we've got something in there to help indicate that it's been clicked. Under credits, let me at least go ahead and create that scene. So, well, the scene's been created, but let me go modify it. Okay, I'll want the same, let me see here. I guess I want a main menu button. So let me duplicate one of these buttons. I'll call it button main. It should say main menu. Apply. And then this is the credits scene, so we only need one button. Okay, and then when that's clicked, let's play the same wooden sound again. Get rid of this event. And instead of quitting the game, it will be change scene to main menu. So it's a loop. And instead of button exit, it'll be button main. Okay. So if I preview the main menu, am I getting the sound correct? It seems to give me an error. I don't know what it sounds like on the other end there, but yeah, let me see here. I don't know. Let me try saving out and coming back in, see if it's just something with my client. How odd. It's almost like the sound file is a bit corrupted. Okay, well, I will have to come back to that. Let me add some text here in the credits menu. Instead of text title, I'll do text credits. And this will just say credits. That can be a bit bigger. Apply. And then I'll duplicate that. And here is where I'll put myself. I'll just do GDevelop, I guess 5 is what we're using. And then I'm going to come back in here and list the art asset creators. Put my background music back on for you. And then oh, yeah, let me find the creators. So that was Robert Brooks. all right, that is a start. Let me decrease the text size. Okay, let's make it smaller. Apply. All right, how bad does this look? I'll say one thing. We don't need that stupid authentication banner up here. Delete. Change the drop shadow angle. Oops. And on the other one as well. Instead of 90 degrees, let's do 45 and apply. Preview. Okay, I think I'll do the same on the main menu. Really don't want these to get cut off anywhere. I might need to drop that down just a bit more in size. All right. That's pretty good. Okay, and I will be right back. I'm going to go step outside for a minute, get some sun, and come back, hopefully reset. And we'll really get into the level building and pick up some more speed. But I think we're in a good place, so I'll be right back in a few. I'll keep the music running here. All right, and I am back. Let's do this. This game jam is getting away from me and running out of time. So, let's get straight into the actual level, the actual gameplay. What's next is to close out these scenes. So I need the level 1. Open that up, close the main menu, and let me check something. If I just make him smaller and get him out of the way, does it still spawn correctly? Ooh, that was close. Oh, look at that. It's kind of funny. All right. Easily amused. We need the ground to continually spawn. So I've temporarily placed 2 platforms here and here, and for a starting point for the level, I want those to continue to spawn, and then later on I'm going to add in various levels of instability where they like collapse out from under you and that sort of thing. Excuse me, but let's get those spawning. So what we need is, we have animations here. We've got game states, preparing and playing. So this would be the bigger one. Alright. Sorry, it's a witching hour for me. I need some coffee. Do you drink coffee? Are you a coffee drinker? Tea drinker? What do you prefer? And if you do drink coffee or do you drink coffee, right? Like, what's the milk and cream and sugar ratio to actual brew? I'm generally at about a 90, like I just do black coffee plus creamer. Nice and smooth, not too sweet. Okay, what we need then is to spawn stuff. So let me add event, and then let me add a comment above that. I'll call it spawn objects. Let me also change something over here. I've got a program running to highlight my clicks on the screen like this, but it's also highlighting keystrokes, which is super bad and annoying. All right, pulling up some reference here. Now for the spawning of the objects, we need specifically to replace the ground. So for spawn objects, let me change the color of that. Oops. We'll make that blue, some kind of a blue. And then the ground specifically. So for the ground, let's say if the platform X position is less than let's do some math here. Less than the X position of the chicken minus a platform width. What is the width of that platform? Let me double check. They're all a little bit different, actually. So, sorry, not 66. 122, 246, 182, 334, and it also depends on if they've been scaled. So it seems like we should do at least, if the X position of the platform is, it's moving to the left, and then it's less than, I would say 0 minus the platform width. I mean, it's off screen and you don't need it. So what we're going to do then is delete it. Okay. And then one way to approach adding them in is to do number of I want the number of instances on the scene of the platform stone. If that is less than 1, we want to make sure the chicken's always got at least 1. Then let's create a new one. Create the object at position. It'll be probably at the scene width number. So it should spawn just to the right side of the screen so you don't see it pop in. But then immediately come into the scene, something like that. So let me see here. Where to spawn the new platforms on the right side of the screen? I would say we might actually want it relative to the existing platform that's on the screen. So if the number of platform living on the scene is less than 1, we also want to pick let's pick a random one, which should only be 1. And then I'll just need to make sure that if I add any other platform obstacle types that I use a different object than this platform stone object. This is the platform stone object I have has like multiple sprites within it, but it's really just one object. And so for this code to not give me more bugs, I need it to pick a random instance in a situation in which there should only be one instance, so that I theoretically know which one it's picking, which is the one the chicken is running on. So if it picks that one, then we want to then add a new one, a new platform, create that position. It should be the selected platform stone dot x plus this is going to be the default gap between these platforms. So I could do like a random number. Let's do random in range. We'll say from if we want it to be an actual gap, let's say 80 to 200. And at Y position, should just be the current Y position of whichever platform is already on the scene. So that should be the Y value of the existing platform. So we're not changing that. Layer, base layer, apply. Alright, let's give this a shot. Our little chicken falls onto the scene. Now I'm still manually running, so I need to fix that next. Alright, there's a gap. And it did not spawn another one anywhere close. So let me double check what we've done. In fact, this is a good time to use the debugger so that I can see how many of these platforms exist on the scene. So let's fire up the old debugger. So what I'm going to do is run this on the side here. Actually, I can do side by side. Let's go to how about like this? Alright, so if I'm running here, let's refresh. The number of scene variables, the number of platforms, we've got two of them. A number 6 and a number 11. So if the chicken keeps running, let's refresh. We still have 2. Keeps running. Keeps falling and running. Let's refresh. Still just have the 2. Okay, so it does not seem to be deleting anything, which is why it's not creating new ones. So why is it not deleting? We want it to delete the platform stone when the X position of platform stone. Maybe this needs to be a for each instance. Let me make this much more simple for testing purposes. And let me just... Oh. Okay, well, it deleted that right away. So, why was that less than 0? Oh, oops. It's giving me some weird behavior here. Yeah, I just want a negative number. Don't know what it's trying to do. Alright, so now whenever it's less than negative 100 on the x-axis, okay, let's keep this open and go over to the debugger, because at this point it should have deleted something. And as you can see, it still has the original 2. So let's look into this further. Let's see here. I mean, we have a couple of options. We could do... We could even ignore this. Let me toggle that as disabled. And then why don't I do... Go into this thingy, go to behaviors, add behavior. Oh, what's it called? Remove. Let me double check something. I'm just drawing a blank here for removing something when it's outside of the scene. So GDevelop. To destroy outside. There we go. Margin before deleting the object in pixels. Let's just say, let's just give it 10. Apply. Now let's see if we're deleting these platforms. Okay. Oh, I remember why that doesn't work exactly. Because this other one is also outside of the scene. So, yeah, that's a problem. That's why we didn't use that behavior to begin with. So, if I increase that margin, it's going to take even longer. It will delete them, but then it'll take even longer before it spawns a new one, which would be probably too big of a gap for the chicken to jump. So for example, if I do, let's say, I don't know, 100. Let's see if that's 970 or 994. I mean, that's a lot of, we're talking 1343 to about 997. So if I made that margin, let's say 400 to be safe. No? Well, let me move that one closer. Actually, what we could do even is delete this one. Okay, I'm full of bad ideas today. Hope you're not trying to follow along today. This is just a little rough. Let me think this through. Let's go back to having 2 of these set in here. Go back to the behavior. If I set that to just like a minimal 10 pixels of margin, the behavior still deleted that other one. I don't understand why exactly. So I think that for our use case, the delete outside the border is too powerful. So we'll go back to this right here. Let's not disable that. Maybe I need to look at the points. So let's look at the points here. The spawn point is over on the far left. The center is near the center, and that makes sense to me. Let me look at the other animations. Make sure that those look similar. Which they do. So that's fine. Some of these need a different collision mask, but I'll get to that later, I guess. So apply, and then, man, do you ever just get stuck on things that you know you can do, and you just, for whatever reason, your brain is not synapsing? Because it doesn't happen to me. Alright, just kidding. Let's go back to this event. Alright, let's try if the position of the platform is less than the chicken. Dot X. And then we do minus the platform width. Let's see what this does. Okay, so at least it didn't delete my second, well, it did delete that other one. So we have some progress there. So if I open up the debugger, I'll keep that on the screen here for you. So it spawned with 2 of these platform stones, a number 6 and a number 12. So I'm running across to the second platform. Now the first one should have deleted, which it did. Now what we're hoping is that it creates more platforms, which it did not. So even if I keep holding down the forward button and I refresh, now it's deleted all the platforms. So it's properly deleting them, but it's not spawning the new ones. So that is what we need to work on here. So it should be creating a new one at the platform X. Let's just try plus its own width. Like that. Let's try also plus 200 for margin. And at the same y coordinate. It doesn't look like it's spawning. Let's open the debugger and take a look. Yeah, so it's still just deleting them and not adding any new ones. That is super annoying. Something I can try is going back into the points. Let me add a point. I'll call it point right. And let me set that on the far right side, I guess at the top. So the y value can just be 0. And then the x value just needs to be the very corner. I think that's it. Let me cancel that and check something. So we're using the same animation on these two. And so that would give us some consistency. I wonder... So this one is spawning at, I mean, I've manually placed it at about Y660. Maybe I should just start, let me create these manually at the beginning of the scene. I'll say X position 0 and then Y position, what I say, 660 at the base layer. And then let's test that. So there it is. Now let's scale it. Actually, just scale it on the x-axis. We'll say times, I don't know, 4. Test that. Maybe even remove the chicken and create a chicken. Position, let's put the chicken not at 0. Let's put it at, say, 100. Oops. Yeah, position 100 on the X and 640 on the Y on base layer. And then change the scale of the chicken to 0.4. So where did it go? What in the world? Debugger time. We do have a chicken. And it's falling. Maybe I need to enable chicken platformer behavior. Nope, that didn't do the trick. Okay, we've got a scene open. So I disabled the platformer behavior on the chicken, and it's saying it's currently at position 100, 640. It's clearly not visible, which is kind of confusing me. Don't know why it would not be visible. Where is... Let's see where that rock is spawning as well. The platform stone, that is at 0, 660. The chicken is at 100 on the x-axis, 640, which should be up above. On the base layer. So again, that's with... If I put that position, let's set that to what we had before, which was 100 and 640. That would put the chicken, yeah, so that's off screen somewhere. Yeah, that must be the issue. It's somewhere way off screen. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. Let's see here. So it's obviously spawning this chicken somewhere way off. So if I we scale the platform. By a lot. Let me also try going to the chicken. I just closed my event. Go to the chicken behavior. Not the platformer object, but the smooth camera. Let's follow it on the Y. This might help us with tracking it. Now look at that sneaky chicken. That's why we couldn't find it. What's he doing down there? That annoying chicken. All right. So now if I can probably delete the chicken from here, create it programmatically here. So let's create object chicken at position, let's say 100, and at Y position, let's say 600. Where does it put it? It's still putting it there. I changed the position. Okay, I was just literally putting it too far down, I guess. So now let's enable or activate the platformer behavior of the chicken. Say yes, play. And now we're back to square one. So we have a really long first platform. And the chicken falls. All right, so let me disable the Y tracking on the chicken. Apply. And then let me just scale the platform by a little bit. Yeah, that's probably more normal. And then let me save. I haven't saved in a while. Go back down to where we're trying to spawn these platforms. And we'll say if the number of platform stones living on the scene is less than 1, create an object, platform stone, so it's still not creating any of them. Yeah, we just have one. And if I come way out here and jump and keep going for a bit, we still just have the one, deleted the one. It does not want to create these things. So let me even delete this other condition. And see what happens. It's constantly creating new ones somewhere. And deleting them. So let's tell it exactly where to spawn then. If at the top we're creating a platform stone at this position, let's do something very similar. But instead of at X position 0, let's do hold on, let me double check how. Let's go to scene properties. Alright, so it is a 1280 game. And if we're taking the platform stone, which is 269 wide, so 269 times, I think we're scaling to 4 is 1076. Then we should just be able to spawn another rock at the edge of the frame. So we'll just say 1280 and at layer Y position 660. And then we would also scale and tint, I guess. It hasn't created a new one yet. It's constantly making new ones. Okay, well, I feel like I'm going in circles on this one. It's not that complicated. I'm just a little bit tired. So I'm going to take a break. It's the best thing I can do for myself here. Let me know in the comments if you ever run into these situations where you're pretty confident you can fix a bug, but it's just not coming to you. What do you do? Do you take a walk? Do you get some sun? Do you get some sleep? Do you just keep working on it until you figure it out? And again, if you want to see more content like this where I live stream my process, which is, can be a dirty process sometimes because you get to see all the debugging issues, then let me know by liking and subscribing, and I'll continue to stream. And again, this is a game jam, so hopefully I get this project in on time, and before I have to stop working on it, which is going to be a few days before the jam itself actually ends. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.